Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? Today, I want to talk to you about something that changed my life about 4 years ago. Now, as many of you know, I started my journey into healing seriously about 6 years ago. Prior to that, it was kind of bullshit. I would just go to a therapist's office, give them money, tell them what I thought they wanted to hear, and leave. And, that was the majority of my 20s. I had a little bit of therapy when I was a kid, but, I think when you're a child, it's hard to really dissect what has happened to you. And about 4 years ago, was on YouTube just like searching child abuse and how you can heal trauma and really anything that I could come across that would help me understand what was happening in my mind, my body, my spirit, my soul, everything. And I came across this study, which I hope that you've heard of. And if you haven't, then I want to take you through it, called the ACE study, which stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences. Now, this was a study conducted initially in 1996 by Dr. Robert Anda and Folletti, along with the Kaiser Permanente and the California Center for Disease Control. See, what happened is Dr. Folletti was helping treat obesity patients. And he had this woman come into his office, lose a couple 100 pounds, and then not even a year later had gained it all back, plus some. And in passing, she happened to mention that she got triggered while at work one day by someone approaching her in a sexual way. And it was a reminder of sexual abuse that she experienced as a child. And this made him very curious. And so because of his curiosity, he decided to start asking patients, and again, these are all obesity patients, about childhood backgrounds, discovering a correlation between obesity and child abuse. And he took this to Kaiser Permanente and he got a study grant, and he did a study of over 18,000 people, mainly, and this is a very important key of this study. It was mainly upper class, middle upper class Caucasian people in California. So not the minorities, not people like me who grew up in poverty, who were homeless, who, had to steal food for breakfast or lunch. No. These were upper class white Americans in California. And what he found is fascinating. And so the ACE study, the Adverse Childhood Experiences study, is based around a series of 10 questions. And depending on how you answer these 10 questions can be indicative of all kinds of problems further down the line. So if your timeline right now, you're 7 years old and you're abused, well, you may not see that happen. You may not see the ramifications of that happen immediately. It may actually take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or in my case, like 20 something years later to really manifest. And so I'm going to take you through these questions, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the findings of the study, because I believe, and there are more studies, but this one is one of the more comprehensive that have been done in the course of the last few years when it comes to the impact of trauma. And I hope that more studies come out. Like, this should not be the end all be all, but it's a great starting point. So 10 questions, and answer them, tally them. For everyone you answer yes to, that's a point, because that's going to be important. So I'm going to run through these fairly quickly, but 10 questions. All of these have to do with anything happening before you turned 18 years old. So question number 1, did a parent or adult swear at you, insult you, put you down, or humiliate you? If you answered yes to that, that's a point. Did a parent or other adult push, grab, slap, or throw something at you or injure you? Did an adult ever touch or fondle you or attempt to have oral, anal, or vaginal intercourse with you? Did you often or very often feel that no one in your family loved you or thought you were important or special? Do you ever feel like you didn't have enough to eat, had to wear dirty clothes, and had no one to protect you, were too drunk or high to take care of you, or take you to the doctor if you needed it? Were your parents divorced or separated?